Hey folks, this is Rob Wells here with you from the law office of Robert M. Wells. Our office helps out landlords and property managers deal with their landlord-tenant situations and problems. In this video, I'm going to talk about new successor landlords that are purchasing property. Are you giving the requisite notice to your tenants about where you may be served legal papers and also where your tenants must pay rent? And I'll tell you about the consequences about not doing that. But before I begin though, landlords, property managers, if you're dealing with a situation where you might have bought into a new property where you become the successor landlord from a previous landlord and you're having trouble with non-payment of rent or just any other situation, please feel free to reach out to us below. Now, let's begin. Now, I just ran into this issue recently where got a successor landlord, they purchased property, and there's a situation where the landlord demanded rent. And in this case here, a lot of people may not be aware of the California Civil Code section 1962 that states that landlords and their property managers or anyone acting on the owner's behalf has to provide certain information to a tenant to give them information about where legal notices such as, hey, something's wrong with my unit, I need repairs, or where rent can be made to. And basically a new landlord, a successor landlord, immediately once they purchase a property, hey, you should go introduce yourself to your tenants personally and so forth. But remember, you need to give a written notice to your tenant that your newly acquired tenancy through the purchase of the property. You need to give that tenant your name, your telephone number, and your usual address where legal notices could be served to you personally. And also too, for rent, you need to tell the tenant where your name, telephone number, and the address where rent should be paid to. And if you're an individual and you're collecting the rent, you should put down your information. If it's a property manager acting on your behalf, you should provide your property manager's information. Optional information that you can provide in this written notice could be if you desire to have your tenants deposit rent into a bank account, which is within 5 miles of the property address. You can give the tenant the financial institution and your bank account information where they can make those deposits to. Or nowadays, what I see now is a lot of people are doing electronic transfers, such as like Zelle or Venmo, that type of deal. You can give the information about how electronic payments can be made and how and what service you use, that type of deal. Now, the consequence of you not giving this notice, successor landlords, is the Civil Code section 1962 provides that until you give this written information to your tenants, your newly acquired tenancy, you may not issue a notice for non-payment of rent. So i.e. you can't issue a 3-day notice for rent, nor can you do an eviction or unlawful detainer for rent until you comply with the code section. So it's just a friendly reminder that, as one of your things off your checklist with acquiring a new property with tenants in possession and a new tenancy is give that information. And the policy behind that is pretty much your newly acquired tenants and residents from the previous tenancy don't know that you're the owner of the property. And, there are a lot of scams nowadays. So, my recommendation is, and just kind of just my style of doing things, it's just, hey, go reach out to your tenants in person. Just, tell them, hey, I'm the new owner, that type of deal, and just see how they're doing, and just give them, hey, here's my contact information. Like if anything, goes wrong with the property or you need to get a hold of me, here's the deal here. And also how you can make the payments in the future since the old landlord is out of the picture. So if you're dealing with a situation where you need help with rent or just anything in general, please feel free to reach out to us below. And until next time, we'll see you then. Thanks.